Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I can't hear you, Joe.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks. Roll call, please.
Alexander.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Cumin. Lentine.
Here.
Lewis. Morgan.
Yes.
O'Toole.
Yes.
Entertain a motion to excuse Cumin.
So moved. Second.
Alexander.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Lentine.
Yes.
Lewis. Morgan.
Yes.
O'Toole.
Yes.
I entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda.
So moved.
Alexander.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Lentine.
Yes.
Lewis. Morgan.
Yes.
O'Toole.
Yes.
Thank you. We will move to reports. Mayor?
Yes, I have a few things to mention. We did have a successful pool opening this week. We've had a little rough weather, but not bad. The YMCA is operating the pool, and our sale of pool passes have been robust, and we're looking forward to warm weather in the next few days. So we have put together a purchase for some trucks that's needed for plow trucks, and that legislation will be up for passage this evening. And we also are having our continuation of our community conversations next Tuesday, and we have some additional people at the tables. We're having the school superintendent, and also we've invited a mall representation. And that concludes my report for this evening. I'll be glad to comment as we go along.
Thank you, Mayor. Next report. Fire Chief Newman.
Thank you, Council President Henry, Mayor Roche, members of council, members of the community. I have some year-to-date statistics to report this evening. In the Division of Fire, the total calls as of May 31st, 797. We're averaging about 5.3 calls for service each shift. We're down about 1.2% compared to the same reporting period in 2014. EMS calls were at 625. That's actually 3.8% more than the same reporting period in 2014, and it accounts for 78.4% of our total call volume. Our 3 area nursing homes account for 22%, or 175 calls of our total call volume. And we've had 172 fire service calls, of which 7 are structure fires. On the fire service calls, we're down about 17% compared to last year. Simultaneous calls, that's calls that happen at the same time, occur about 14% of the time. We've had 112 this year. And we received mutual aid from other area departments 15 times, and we've given mutual aid 43 times. Billing for EMS transports is at $274,000. That's an increase of 5.4% compared to the same reporting period in 2014. Revenues for EMS transports are at $130,000. That's a decrease of 7.5% over the same reporting period in 2014. University Hospital, has been transitioning to the EMS report writing system from EMS charts to Sanzio, and this has called a bit of a delay in the collections, as advised by our collection company, Life Force Management. Our collection rate for EMS billing is at 47%. The collection rate for the same reporting period in 2014 was 54%, so it's about 12% under, but last month we were about 14% under, so we're getting back to where we need to be. Our year-to-date overtime, as of May 31st, is at 33,402 hours. That's a decrease of 45%, or $27,000 compared to the same reporting period in 2014. Overtime includes shift coverage and off-duty training related to regional agreements. Year-to-date supplemental staff cost total, that's overtime and part-time, is at $39,388. That's a decrease of 48% over last year. We were at $75,884 last year. Some events that are occurring in the near future. We have a Heart Saver CPR AED course coming up. It'll be held at the Richmond Heights Fire Station on Monday, June 22nd, 2015, from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Class size is limited to 12 students per class. We have 12 openings currently. These classes are free to residents of Richmond Heights. Anybody who's interested can call me, Chief Newman, at 216-383-6304. Division of Fire will also be hosting a CPR class for our Richmond Heights CERT team at their regular meeting on Monday, July 20th. Our firefighters have started the activity of pre-fire planning in our community. They do this annually. The pre-fire planning and site visits are to our local businesses. They started June 1st, and this important activity will run through the summer, concluding on August 28th. And the 4th of July is coming up. It's important to remember that the possession, sale, and discharge of fireworks by private citizens is prohibited in the city of Richmond Heights. This is in compliance with Section 3743 of the Ohio Revised Code, and also in compliance with City Codified Ordinance 1519, fireworks. With that concludes my report for this evening, and I'll take any questions.
I do have one quick one.
Yes, ma'am.
Next week, you said you're having the CPR class over, and we usually have CERT over there, right? At that
Yes, ma'am.
time. So we need to have it over here, right? We should have our CERT meeting over in City Hall instead of over at the fire department, because you're going to be using that room, right?
Yes, that is correct. Our CERT meeting should occur here. We have the CPR class for the citizens is on Monday, June 22nd.
Our search is third.
Yes, it is a third, so then we're clear then. I thought you said it was next week at first, though.
The CERT meeting will be, that's correct, yes. The CERT meeting will be having a CPR class at the fire station at the same time the CERT meeting will be
But
happening.
you said that was in July. You said that was July 20th. But on July 20th, you said the CERT meeting was going to have their CERT training on July 20th. But I thought you said next week, on that Monday, you're going to do the one for the community, the CPR class.
No, the citizen CPR will be on June 22nd.
Okay, so then
June
we're clear.
22nd. The CERT CPR will happen on July 20th.
Okay, so we can meet in the fire department
Yes,
next week. Then. All right, thank you. All right, Police Chief Rowe is, I suppose, on vacation, I think. So we'll move to the Building Commissioner, Phil Sebo.
Thank you, Council President Henry, Mayor Roach, members of City Council, and staff and guests. I'd like your indulgence for the next 6 or 7 minutes for a report, which is a recap, my second and final report to recap the school door barricade discussion that concluded with the second public hearing in Reynoldsburg last Friday, June 5th. At that time, I had the pleasure of representing the Ohio Building Officials Association as its vice president and testifying on their behalf. The hearing started with about a 30-minute presentation by Mr. Joe Brigant, who is the former school superintendent of the Chardon schools, who was in office during the 2012 shooting there. Mr. Brigant made several points that were noteworthy during his presentation. He felt that few school districts have a sufficient pre-plan for an emergency situation. He emphasized that there are many types of occurrences that might take place that could cause injuries, such as a tornado, a bus accident, or even some type of explosion or fire. These occurrences, while all different in nature, share similar matters of planning. He felt that the following details were most important in a pre-plan. Number one, he felt that familiarity of emergency forces with the facility is important. He explained that a monthly or even weekly visit and tour by the first responders is necessary until the point at which every person on the shift is familiar enough with the building or campus that they know where the individual rooms are without maps and can respond accordingly. Second, there should be a tried and tested method of communicating during an emergency or during a lockdown when cell phones might be tied up or email inaccessible. Many PA systems are obsolete and not always in operation. There must be a reliable method and an alternate plan to get instructions and information distributed to classrooms during a lockdown. In Chardon, email was the method of choice. The next one, teachers and administrators should promote and model vigilance in the school. Things that look abnormal or out of place should be reported and investigated immediately. Next, key security should be reviewed. We did that recently at City Hall. Many door locks do not have keys anymore because keys have been lost or misplaced. Personnel that have not worked in the district for many years may still have keys to some doors. Personnel have keys to rooms or areas in which they have no business entering. It may be necessary to re-key the facility and distribute new keys to teachers and administrators. A good cell phone must be in place. A good cell phone policy must be in place. Quick thinking on the part of one of the administrators on the scene in Chardon prevented pictures of the shootings and of the blood that resulted from showing up on the internet shortly thereafter. Cell phones were collected from personnel detailed to eventually clean up the facility after the shooting. Procedures for buzzing visitors into schools should be reviewed. Even though main entry doors are locked, many places allow visitors to enter after ringing a doorbell without knowing who they are or what their business is. Next, the plan must be articulated and practiced until satisfactory results are achieved. Many of the problems will be solved during the practices if they are run properly and seriously. Time is of the essence in the implementation of the plan. For the purposes of a small demonstration, start a small timer in your mind right now, and I'll explain in a second. Finally, the last point was that mental health experts and counselors should be sought out and arranged in advance. Background checks should be performed on all mental health counselors. During an emergency, these experts may be required on very short notice, and the necessary background checks will often be omitted in the expediency of the moment. More than 30 such experts were used in Chardon. Stop the timer, time's up. It took me approximately 22 seconds to read that last point. From the first shot being fired in Chardon until the shooter had fired 10 shots, killing or wounding 6 students, and was chased out of the school by one of the coaches, the entire incident took 22 seconds. So time is of the essence, and a plan must be in place. The school administration in Richmond Heights was not at all supportive of the secondary door barricades and expressed their support of the current building and fire codes. All of the doors in Richmond Heights schools open outwardly into the corridor, and they all have substantially sized windows. All classroom doors stand open during the change of classes, but are kept closed and locked at all times during the classes. Entering a classroom after the beginning of class requires either the use of a key or someone in the classroom opening the door for you. Richmond Heights schools use a locking device that is referred to as a classroom lock set, and that is code compliant. A classroom lock set has a key cylinder, a key lock, in both the interior handle and the exterior handle, so that the door can be locked or unlocked from either side of the door, but only with a key. While locked, the door remains openable from the inside of the room without any tools or keys, but anybody entering from the hallway once the door is closed must use a key to enter. This type of locking arrangement, which is devoid of any buttons or thumb turns, prevents students from mischievously locking or unlocking the door without authorization. Insofar as the glass is concerned, those present during our walkthrough agreed that the door could be replaced if necessary with one containing a narrow vertical window located close to the hinge side of the door, making it difficult or impossible to reach through a broken window to turn the doorknob. This narrow vertical window would also be code compliant with handicapped accessibility requirements. The cost of the replacement of the door and/or hardware compared to the cost of secondary barricading devices are very similar, since the cost of the barricading devices are anywhere from $100 to $600 each and would cover all or most of the cost of a door refit if necessary. I would suggest that a classroom equipped with a solid core wood door, locked, in which the location of the window is no longer a safety factor, is as impervious to an unauthorized entry as one equipped with a non-compliant secondary barricade, while still permitting safe egress as required. Building officials with whom I spoke generally were not aware of the anonymous help hotline that is available at 1-844-SAFER-OHIO to report potential threats to the student body. This is a particularly important program, since we know that 81% of incidents that have happened around the country were known to someone in advance that could have reported them. I found references to the Safer Ohio app for cell phones on the internet, but none of those sites actually gave the phone number. While I eventually found posters that are available to school administrators advertising the tip number, many building and school officials suggested a poster campaign or a poster design contest in each individual school district to advertise the number and the program, making it so familiar to students and faculty as to be committed to memory. The poster promotion should also be publicized to the applicable school administrator in each district or campus by a staff member of Homeland Security through a phone call, a personal visit, or some other acceptable method of individual contact. Right now, the school districts are left to their own administration to discover, read, or enroll in the programs on their own. While every school shooting is tragic, we must do everything we can to prevent them. These events are rare. Statistics show that a student's chance on any particular day in encountering such a situation is about 1 in 5 million. Non-fatal victimizations at schools, however, are thousands of times more likely to occur, and the unauthorized lockdown of a classroom with one of these unauthorized barricading devices could easily create a safe haven from school staff or emergency responders for someone attempting to commit a crime. In an article written recently by Lori Green of Allegiant, which is a provider of security products and solutions, we learned the following statistics from the National Center for Education. In one single year recently, students ages 12 to 18 were victims of about 1,365,000 non-fatal victimizations at school, such as bullying situations or assaults, including sexual assaults, including 750,000 that were violent victimizations, and 89,000 of which were serious violent victimizations. During another single school year, 85% of public schools required that one or more of these incidents of violence, theft, or other crimes had taken place, amounting to an estimated 1.9 million crimes. And in a third separate single year, 9% of school teachers reported being threatened with injury by a student, while 3% of those teachers reported that they actually had been physically attacked. There is no need for a trade-off of safety from one type of crime for safety from another in these cases. Again, a classroom equipped with a solid core locked door in which the location of the window is no longer a safety factor is as impervious to unauthorized entry as one equipped with a non-compliant secondary barricade, while still permitting the authorized entry by a school security official using the proper key. One of the things I want to just make clear is that these barricades they have various nomenclature. They look like a wheel axle crossing inside the door with various kinds of hooks on them, and they prevent the opening of the door by anybody once this thing is in place. They prevent the opening of the door by an intruder. They also prevent the opening of the door by a school administrator or by a police officer or some other type of first responders, whereas a locked door with a code-compliant lock, while being impervious to being broken into by an intruder, can still be opened with a key by a school administrator or by a police officer. 2 individuals testified in favor of the barricading devices. One, Erin West, a mother of school-aged children in Columbus, testified that she believes that with the proper training and rules in place, school districts should be able to use the devices where and when needed. Fire Chief Robert Searles of the City of Mentor also testified that he believes that the devices should be permitted in certain situations. On the other hand, representatives of the Southwest Ohio Fire Safety Council, as well as the Northeast Ohio Fire Prevention Association, testified in support of the procedures and hardware that comply with building and fire codes. Gary Seacrest, a security expert from Columbus firm called Safeguard Risk Solutions, presented a white paper comparing the issues at various shooting sites around the country and concluded that properly locked classroom doors with code-compliant hardware is the key to security. He discussed the positions of the barricade advocates and testified that one of the chief concerns is still what would happen if the barricades are used to create privacy in which to commit a crime. Another paper submitted by Jerry Hepps, CEO of the Door and Security Foundation located in Chantilly, Virginia, analyzed the position of numerous states, including New York, California, Florida, and Minnesota, that have taken stands against the door barricades and confirming the position that Ohio should not approve their use. It was generally agreed by most building officials with whom I spoke that new building requirements in the Ohio Building Code should include the use of classroom lock sets installed on solid core doors with narrow vertical windows located near the hinge side of the door. That's as opposed to a full window that could be broken out that you can easily reach through to open the door on the other side. This combination would provide security that would be difficult or impossible for an intruder to defeat, while preventing to the extent possible the creation of a safe haven for aggressive students or outside intruders to hide from school security or police. In addition, these requirements would not increase the cost of new construction, since material and labor costs would remain virtually the same as before and would result in classroom entry doors that would remain code compliant while affording new level of security to the classroom. No further hearings are scheduled. The Board of Building Standards will now take into consideration all testimony to decide what should be done with building and fire codes in Ohio. They will also wait to see what happens with pending legislation that would force them to permit barricading devices. That concludes my report. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you again. Finance Director, Mitch McCaleb.
Thank you, Madam President, Mayor Roach, members of council, and guests. Just one item tonight. I had mentioned to you before that we were preparing to do the note sale for the rollover of last year's Series 2014 bond anticipation note. That sale took place today. We received a number of bids and a number of inquiries from interested parties. We did sell the note to First Merit Bank, and we received a rate of 0.98%, which is a good rate in this environment. So very pleased with that. And that concludes my report, in case anybody has any questions.
Thank you. All right. Next report. City Engineer, no, Berniski.
Thank you, Madam President.
Service Director, Donald Berniski.
Thank you, Madam President. I just have two things. First off, I'd like to put on next Service and Rec meeting a discussion about Ashby's months, we've had 750 calls come through to our department, ranging in questions, requests, and sometimes even demands. And so I try, this is for your information to know that out of those 750 calls, maybe 2 or 3, maybe 5 at the most have gotten past our department and ended up in the mayor's lap or the council members as we receive a call from the resident. And I would hope that if you do get those calls, that you would give me a call back, because most of them I've followed up on already, and there's another side to the story. So just like to fill you in on it, but you get a lot of calls. We follow up on every one of them. I personally probably follow up on 90% of them, just to make sure that what they're saying is happening. So this is just a little piece of information.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Mr. Courtney, City Engineer.
Just one item, Madam President. The Highland Road project, in addition to the bicycle signage, we will be adding pavement markings both in the city of Richmond and the city of Newton. They're called sharrows, which is sharing the bike lane.
It'll be marked on the pavement, like they told you.
When does that take place? I'm sorry.
I'm hoping that that'll take place soon.
Yeah, because we don't have arrows or crosswalks or anything yet. Those are supposed to be done in thermoplastic, so that the weather may be creating a few obstacles.
Madam Chairman, question. Does that also talk about the street signs that were mistakenly identified, Kerry J. and Dunbarton? I know this service department said they would do it, but I don't think it's really their responsibility. I think it's part of the project.
I have put the request in the county, that is not having it, so one way or the other.
For everybody's information, there's 2 signs that were mislabeled. Kerry J. Road is, I believe, Kerry J. Boulevard, and Dunbarton Boulevard, or Road is called a boulevard.
Dunbarton is a boulevard.
Dunbarton is a boulevard. Well, they're twisted around. They're both wrong.
So it's been renamed this way for, what, now 3 weeks?
Since, yeah.
Okay, so you just go back and tell them it's been changed. I'm just joking.
I'll refer the calls to you.
Well, sorry about the inconvenience.
So noted.
Recreation Director Jessica Gift.
Good evening, Madam President, Mayor, Council, and audience. As you all know, we had a successful opening school day yesterday. We plan to have the recreation offices open this Saturday, again from 9 a.m. to 12. For any of those residents who need to come in during the weekend hours to purchase a pass, it's an inconvenience during the weekday. So we will be open this Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon, selling full passes. Also, we are selling day passes at the concession stand for those residents who only want to maybe enjoy the pool for one specific day rather than have a seasonal pass. The passes that you see this year may look a little different. We're identifying individual passes by a green background and family passes by a yellow background. That'll be an easy identifier for the staff at the pool. And finally, I've held 6 interviews with residents for the positions on the rec board. We're planning to have the board assembled by the end of the month and hopeful to be doing a sometime in July.
Do you know the cost for the passes, individual versus family?
For residents, it's $110, and for individual, it's $50. For a family of up to 4, it's $110, and then for every additional family member after that.
$10 and $150 otherwise, you said?
It's $110 for a family for 4, and then $10 for every additional family member after that,
Okay,
and then $50 for an individual pass.
Okay.
And there is a $4 identification card charge as well.
Thank you very much. Economic Development Director Crystal Best.
Thank you, Madam President, Mayor, Council. we're ready to start work on that. And what that means is that the city and members of the community will have a chance to weigh in as to what alternatives might be the most suitable for cleaning up the gas station. It's looking like the voluntary action plan is probably the best way to go, but under Ohio EPA guidelines, we have to have a process in place to get community involvement and support. So I will keep you posted as to when we are ready to start doing the APCA, when we're going to have the community weigh-in portion of this activity. It's going to be about 30 days where people can write in, call in, make comments, and it might be that on one evening, maybe before the council meeting, it would be appropriate to ask for community comments. I'll get back on that. But we're making steps forward, steady steps, and we're getting there. So I'm pleased about that. The other thing I wanted to do is thank everyone who participated in the Harvest for Hunger food drive. We had an extremely successful drive. We raised $700 for the cause, and that doesn't include canned goods that we were able to collect. And I was just really pleased with the support, and the local area businesses were really supportive, and the Kiwanis were also very supportive, and it just shows the spirit that people in Richmond have towards helping people and trying to get out there and do something good with each other. And I hazard to say that we had a good time this one. Those of you who came to the Zumba fundraiser, those of you who came to Shred Day, had a great time doing something good. And so stay tuned, we'll probably do some in the future. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Okay, we will move to the audience. Are there any comments from the audience? Yes.
We'll be going out every week, one day a week at least, on Tuesdays, with the positions that we have to fill out. And if we have an opening where we can get some more guys out onto the road, we'll do it 2 days a week, but it's going to be just one day a week. And we start, the south side has already been completely done, so now we're going to start doing it on one side next week. Because we have some new things. Is that okay?
They did a good job. Yes.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. Well, we'll move on to old business, and there is none, right? And we'll move to new business.
Ordinance 49, 2015, introduced by Len Teen, first reading. An ordinance establishing a special fund to be designated as the Police K-9 Fund and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Martin, do you have any comments?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. We are, just as the title says, we are establishing a special fund for a possible police K-9 fund. This is something that's required by the state audit department and our finance department to have some place to put any monies that is collected for this possible new endeavor that the city is considering. So I would recommend that we support this and pass this tonight. It's also declared an emergency for the safety of our residents.
I move for suspension of the rules.
Second.
Alexander.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Lenteen.
Yes.
Lewis. Morgan. O'Toole.
Yes.
Move for passage.
Second.
Alexander.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Lenteen.
Yes.
Lewis. Morgan. O'Toole.
Yes.
Ordinance 49, 2015 passes unanimously.
Resolution 50, 2015, introduced by Alexander, first reading. A resolution confirming the action of the Zoning Board of Appeals with respect to a variance for a setback for a new marathon station at 456 Richmond Road.
Any comments, Mr. Alexander?
This was discussed both at the Planning commission meeting the other night and the planning and zoning of council tonight. It's a variance for the Marathon Station at the corner of Highland and Richmond. Basically, one variance is disappearing on the new building, but the one will stay in place from Highland.
Move for suspension.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis? Morgan? O'Toole?
Yes. Move for passage.
Second motion.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis? Morgan? O'Toole?
Yes.
Resolution 50, 2015 passes unanimously.
Ordinance 51, 2015, introduced by Mayor Roach, first reading. An ordinance amending ordinance number 79, 2013, to add 2 additional part-time employees to the service department, change the classification from summer to seasonal, add 3 additional seasonal employees, and adjusting the terms of Recreation Board members of the City of Richmond Heights, and declaring an emergency.
Mayor, do you have comments?
Yes, we're just changing the pay ordinance to add a couple of more part-time people and change the seasonal to, from summer to seasonal in the wording.
Move for suspension.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis? Morgan? O'Toole?
Yes.
Move for passage.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis? Morgan? O'Toole?
Yes.
Ordinance 51, 2015 passes unanimously.
Resolution number 52, 2015, introduced by Mayor Roach, first reading. A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Cuyahoga County for the business attraction and anti-poaching protocol and declaring an emergency.
Mayor, do you have comments?
This is a similar agreement as we signed earlier several years ago. I think the only change is the chief county executive Armin Budish is now on here.
Move for suspension.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis? Morgan? O'Toole?
Yes.
Move for passage.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis? Morgan? O'Toole?
Yes.
Resolution 52, 2015 passes unanimously.
Resolution number 53, 2015, introduced by Alexander, first reading. A resolution confirming the action of the Planning Commission with respect to the approval of the site plan for a new Marathon gas station.
Mr. Alexander, any comments?
This was in planning and zoning. Is the tear down and build a new building at the Marathon at the corner of Highland and Richmond. It was passed unanimously.
Move for suspension.
Second the motion.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis? Morgan? O'Toole?
Yes.
Move for passage. Second the motion.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis? Morgan? O'Toole?
Yes.
Resolution number 53, 2015 passes unanimously.
Resolution number 54, 2015, introduced by Alexander. A resolution authorizing the mayor to purchase 4 used trucks from Concord Township for the Department of Public Service.
Mr. Alexander.
This has come through our service director, Don. He's found us 4 trucks that should serve us well over the next couple years until we can maybe acquire something new. They're in very good shape. Should put us in good standing for next year. Move for suspension.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis? Morgan?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes. Move for passage.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis? Morgan?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Resolution number 54, 2015 passes unanimously.
Resolution number 55, 2015, introduced by Mayor Roach. A resolution amending Resolution number 45, 2015, authorizing the mayor to hire an intern from Cleveland State University for summer 2015.
Mayor?
Yes, our intern is actually doing a great job. I recommend that we make this modification.
Move for suspension.
Second motion.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis? Morgan?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes. Move for passage.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis? Morgan?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Resolution 55, 2015 passes unanimously. Is there any more correspondence? All right, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Meeting adjourned.